It all begins with a whisper, doesn't it? A subtle tug at the edges of your imagination, a gentle nudge that grows stronger with every passing day. Sometimes it's a word you overhear, a photograph glimpsed in a magazine, or a story told by a friend who's been somewhere you've only dreamed of, a name spoken in hushed, reverent tones. Patagonia. It lingers in the air, heavy with promise and mystery, as if it holds secrets only the wildest places can keep. For years it was just a word to me, a place at the bottom of the map, remote, wild, almost mythical. It felt like a destination for explorers and dreamers, not for someone like me sitting thousands of miles away wondering if I'd ever see it for myself. I pictured vast empty spaces, relentless winds, and mountains sharp enough to tear the sky. I imagined a land where the horizon stretched on forever, where the silence was broken only by the howl of the wind and the cry of distant birds. The more I heard, the more Patagonia's call grew, a longing for true wilderness. It was as if the land itself was reaching out, inviting me to step beyond the familiar and into the unknown. In a world so mapped and known, this region still holds the unknown. There are valleys and peaks here that few have ever seen, places where nature reigns and time seems to stand still. I found myself poring over maps, tracing routes with my finger, reading tales of those who had gone before me. Each story added fuel to the fire, each image made the dream more vivid. I packed my warmest jumpers, my sturdiest boots, and a heart full of anticipation. Every item in my bag felt like a promise to myself, a commitment to finally answer the call. My journey began with a long flight south, cities fading into endless green and brown. The world below transformed, skyscrapers giving way to forests, then to the wild open spaces I'd only seen in dreams. Looking down from the plane, I felt a thrill ripple through me. This was it, the beginning of a real adventure. The anticipation was electric, every mile bringing me closer to the unknown. The air felt different, charged with wild energy. It was crisp, invigorating, and carried the scent of earth and freedom. The wind that greeted me on the tarmac was alive, boisterous, as if to say, "Welcome, are you ready?" It whipped around me, playful and fierce, a reminder that I was far from home. Patagonia was already making its introduction, and I knew this journey would change me. I felt small, but also more alive than ever, standing at the edge of something vast and untamed. The whisper had become a roar, and I was finally here to listen. In that moment, I realized that some places don't just call to you, they transform you, from the very first breath. My first stop in Argentine Patagonia was El Calafate, perched on the turquoise shores of Lago Argentino. The town buzzes with adventurers, its wooden buildings and chocolate shops alive with stories. There's a sense of shared purpose. Everyone is here for nature's spectacle. I wandered the streets, the air crisp with wood smoke and distant ice. The southern Patagonian icefield looms on the horizon, a thrilling presence. I tried the legendary Calafate berry in a jam, sweet, tart, and a promise to return. As evening fell, the sky over the lake exploded in pinks and violets, the water stretching to snow-capped Andes. Standing by the shore, I felt a profound peace. El Calafate was the perfect introduction, a gentle gateway to Patagonia's epic scale. But the real giant, the one everyone comes to see, was waiting just ahead. Nothing prepares you for your first sight of the Perito Moreno Glacier. The anticipation builds as you travel through the rugged Patagonian landscape, but the reality is far more breathtaking than any photograph or story could ever convey. You round a bend, and suddenly, there it is, a colossal river of ice filling the valley, framed by jagged peaks and ancient forests. The glacier stretches out before you, a frozen titan that seems to defy time itself. Its jagged expanse glows with brilliant blues and whites pouring down from the mountains into the lake. The ice seems to pulse with energy, shifting in color as the sunlight dances across its surface. We took a boat close to its towering face, the glacier's walls rising hundreds of feet above the water. Up close, you can hear the deep, resonant hum of the ice, a sound that vibrates through your chest and lingers in your mind. Deep sapphire crevasses and dazzling white surfaces shimmer in the light. Each crack and fissure tells a story of centuries of movement, pressure, and transformation. The glacier groans and cracks, alive and constantly moving. It's as if the entire landscape is breathing, shifting ever so slightly with each passing moment. When a chunk calves, a thunderous crack echoes, and a wave surges across the lake. The spectacle is both violent and mesmerizing, a reminder of nature's raw, unpredictable power. Witnessing this raw power is humbling and exhilarating. The crowd falls silent, awestruck by the sheer force and beauty of the moment, each person feeling the weight of the glacier's presence. I spent hours on the walkways, watching the sun set the ice glittering like diamonds. The changing light transforms the glacier, painting it in golds, pinks, and deep blues as evening falls. The scale of it recalibrates your sense of importance. You're just a fleeting spectator. Standing there, dwarfed by this ancient giant, you realize how small and temporary we are compared to the forces that shape our world. Leaving Perito Moreno felt like saying goodbye to a wise old giant. There's a sense of reverence, as if you're parting from a guardian of the Earth's secrets. Its image and power are etched forever in my memory. The glacier's presence lingers, a reminder of nature's resilience and majesty. Patagonia's wild heart had truly revealed itself, leaving me changed, inspired, and deeply grateful for the chance to witness such a living, breathing wonder. Leaving Argentina, I crossed into Chile, an adventure in itself. The landscape shifts, roads growing more remote as you climb into the Andes. The border is a windswept outpost, passports stamped in a wooden hut. In Chile, the mountains grow sharper, the valleys deeper, the colors more intense. The drive to Torres del Paine is breathtaking. Emerald lakes, bleached trees, herds of guanacos grazing by the roadside. Every view is a masterpiece, every turn reveals new wonders. The Patagonian wind is fiercer here, sweeping across plains and lakes. My destination, a cozy lodge deep in the park, a haven in this rugged land. From my window, I saw the legendary granite peaks, jagged fingers reaching for the sky. Tomorrow I'd walk toward them, but tonight I simply gazed in awe. Waking up in Torres del Paine feels like breathing for the first time. The air is crisp and cold, tinged with the scent of earth and wildflowers. As the first rays of sunlight spill over the jagged peaks, the world outside my tent glows with promise. There's a sense of anticipation, a quiet thrill that comes from knowing you're about to step into one of the planet's last true wildernesses. My goal, the legendary base of the Towers hike, promises one of South America's most iconic views. As I shoulder my pack and tighten my boots, I can feel the energy of fellow hikers, each of us drawn here by the same dream, to witness the majesty of Patagonia up close. The trail begins in a sun-dappled forest, where ancient trees arch overhead and woodpeckers echo through the quiet. Every step forward is accompanied by the soft crunch of leaves and the distant call of birds, reminding me how alive this place truly is. Soon, the path climbs into the heart of the Ascencio Valley, tracing the edge of a rushing glacial river. The water, icy and impossibly blue, carves its way through the valley, a constant companion as the landscape grows wilder and more dramatic with every turn. The wind picks up, a true Patagonian gale, fierce and unrelenting, testing my resolve. It howls through the grass and tugs at my jacket, reminding me that nature here is both beautiful and untamed. The final climb is a steep scramble over boulders, each step demanding focus as my legs ache and my lungs burn. The landscape is raw and rugged, and every muscle in my body feels the effort, but the promise of what lies ahead keeps me moving. Other hikers pass by, offering silent encouragement, a fellowship of pilgrims, each of us united by the challenge and the hope of reaching the summit. There's a quiet camaraderie and shared struggle, a sense that we're all part of something bigger. Cresting the ridge, the view takes my breath away. 3 granite towers soaring into the sky, their sheer faces reflected in a turquoise lagoon below. The scene is so stunning, so impossibly perfect, it feels like stepping into a dream. I stand in awe, overwhelmed by the raw, untamed beauty that stretches out before me. The silence is profound, broken only by the wind and the distant cry of a condor. All the effort, all the struggle, vanishes in an instant, replaced by a deep sense of awe and gratitude. I feel small, yet connected to something vast and eternal. This is a moment of pure wonder, a memory I know will stay with me forever. The wild heart of Patagonia is laid bare, its secrets revealed to those willing to seek them out. Every step, every challenge had been worth it. As I begin the descent, I carry with me not just memories, but a renewed sense of wonder for the wild places of our world. After the drama of the Andes, I return to Argentina and the vast Patagonian steppe. Ruta 40 stretches endlessly across a semi-arid plateau, at first glance empty, but full of subtle beauty. Herds of guanacos blend into golden grasses, condors soar overhead. The scale is humbling, making you feel wonderfully insignificant. The emptiness is meditative, the silence immense. With no distractions, you watch the land unfold, ochre, sage, pale yellow under a brilliant sky. The steppe teaches patience and reveals its quiet grandeur. It's a place for contemplation, where the mind can wander as freely as the wind. This journey showed me another face of Patagonia, resilient, enduring and beautiful in its simplicity. The steppe is not empty, it's full of solitude, sky, and understated grandeur. Arriving in El Chaltén is like stepping into a climber's paradise. The village sits at the base of spectacular peaks, including the legendary Mount Fitzroy. Here, the mountains are right on your doorstep, their granite spires dominating the skyline. The town buzzes with adventurers, united by a love for the wild. I set out for Laguna de los Tres, a challenging hike through forests and rocky terrain. The final ascent is steep, but the reward is immense, a glacial lake at the foot of Fitzroy's sheer granite face. Seeing Fitzroy up close is almost spiritual, its peaks ablaze in the morning sun. The beauty is overwhelming, a perfect union of light, rock, and ice. Standing in its shadow, I felt awe and a deep connection to Patagonia's wild heart. It was a moment of pure magic. Patagonia isn't just about sights, it's about tastes and the people who create them. The king of the menu is Cordero Patagonico. Lamb, slow-roasted over an open fire, unbelievably tender and smoky. In Chile, I savored king crab, sweet and delicate, and tried curanto, a traditional pit-cooked feast. Empanadas became my go-to hiking snack. Every meal was a discovery, a taste of the region's history. The food is made richer by the people, gauchos, lodge owners, and locals, all with stories to share. There's a quiet strength and warmth in Patagonians, a deep respect for the land. One evening, a local told me, "Here, we don't fight the wind, we learn to dance with it." That wisdom captures Patagonia's spirit, strength, adaptation, and love for the wild. Sharing food and stories here made me feel at home at the end of the world. As my journey ended, I stood one last time before Patagonia's vastness. The wind still blew, the mountains still stood guard, the sky still stretched endlessly. Leaving felt like waking from a vivid dream. I came seeking adventure and found a deep connection to the wild. Patagonia leaves its mark. Its wildness, solitude, and beauty stay with you. You leave a part of yourself behind, but you also take Patagonia with you. The legend of the Caliphate Berry promises you'll return, and I knew it was true. The end of the world is not an end, but a place of infinite beginnings. There are more trails to walk, more stories to discover. Let the whisper of adventure grow into a call you'll one day answer.